Act I, the hidden BATT light title. The war no one sees. How to win without ever fighting. Fade in. Slow motion scene of a man standing in the middle of a chaotic city street. Cars honk. People rush past. His eyes are calm. Everything around him is noise, but he stands still. Voiceover. There is a war happening every single day. But it's not the one you think. Not in the streets, not online, not even between people. The most brutal, relentless war is the one happening within you. A war between your emotions and your discipline, between your ego and your higher self, between the part of you that wants to react and the part of you that chooses silence. Most men think power is shown by domination, that to win, you must strike back. Raise your voice, show your teeth. But here's the truth. The strongest man in the room is the one who says nothing, not out of fear, but because he's mastered himself so deeply, no enemy can reach him. Cinematic pause. Cut to slow motion. A man being insulted. He doesn't flinch. The insulter becomes confused. The trap of reaction, they expect you to respond. They feed off your anger. They need your attention to survive. Because once you react, they win. Not because you are weak, but because you let them pull you into their arena, their energy, their chaos. You started playing their game. And once you're in their game, you've already lost. Scene fades into the image of a chessboard. A single move is made, then the opponent flips the board in frustration. What if you refused to play? What if instead of reacting, you remained still? What if instead of shouting, you became silent? What if instead of fighting, you simply walked away, not out of surrender? Out of total self-control, visual, a lion walking away from barking dogs.com, unbothered, unshaken. This is where real power begins. This is the beginning of the Stoic mindset, the silence of POWR silence. It's not weakness, it is a weapon, not the silence of fear, but the silence of calculated control. It unnerves your enemies. It strips them of power. When someone insults you and you say nothing, you begin to lose their grip. When someone attacks your character and you don't flinch, they realize their power has no reach. This is psychological warfare, and you win it by doing nothing. Cut to black. Just the sound of slow breathing then. A voice returns. Inner mastery is the real victory. Every attack, verbal, emotional, psychological, has one goal: to pull you off center. But you are no longer giving people that privilege. They don't get to see you break. They don't get to feel your reaction. They don't get to steal your peace. Why? Because you are no longer playing their game. You are playing your own. One that only requires one opponent, yourself. And when you learn to defeat that man, the emotional man, the reactive man, the impulsive man, there's no one left who can truly touch you. The ancient wisdom, what the masters knew seen. A student walks beside an old master. The master is calm, serene. The student burns with frustration. Master, why do you let that man insult you every day? Why don't you defend yourself? The master stops, turns, and smiles. If someone offers you a gift, and you refuse to accept it, to whom does the gift belong? That's your power. Not taking what doesn't belong to you. Not accepting what would. Disturb your peace. Letting others carry their own poison. You're not here to be liked. You're not here to react. You're here to elevate. Act 2. The power of SDLL. Inassessed. Subtitle. When you do nothing. Everything changes visual. A candle flickering in complete darkness. Thunder rumbles outside. A man sits still, unmoved. His eyes do not blink. Voiceover. Most people think power comes from motion, from doing more, saying more, fighting more. But the masters, the ones who move mountains without raising their voice, they know something different. They understand that stillness is a form of violence, a silent strike, A message louder than words. Scene shifts to a man yelling in another's face. The second man doesn't speak, doesn't flinch. The first man starts to unravel. Your stillness is their breakdown. People are used to getting reactions. They want you emotional. They want you rattled. Because if they can shake you, they own you. But what happens when you give them nothing? No reaction, no emotion, no movement. Just stillness. They begin to question themselves. They become louder, more desperate, and then they collapse under the weight of their own emotional chaos. You didn't have to raise your voice. You just had to stop giving them energy. Stillness is not emptiness. It's precision. Scene. A samurai sitting under a tree, eyes closed, insects buzz. A storm brews, but his sword remains sheathed. True power is not an aggression. It's a non-reaction. The ability to observe without becoming, to feel without attaching, to wait without panicking. A lion does not chase every sound in the jungle. It waits. It watches, and when it moves, it's not miss. You're not here to flail in the dark. You're here to strike when the moment demands it, and only then, the master's test. The man who couldn't be provoked, there was once a master known not for his strength, but for his stillness. No one had ever seen him angry. No one had ever heard him raise his voice. But one man tried to break him. Every day he hurled insults, mocked him in front of crowds, pushed every emotional button he could. Yet, the master said nothing, not a word, not a sigh. Days passed, then weeks, then months. Eventually, the man burned out. His rage turned inward, and one day he collapsed in silence. The crowd asked the master, "Why did you never respond?" He smiled. "If I wrestle a pig in the mud, we both get dirty, but the pig loves it." Emotional control is mental dominance. Stillness is not just silence. It's dominance over the part of you that wants to prove something. It's the refusal to dance with chaos. Most men are controlled by their triggers. You touch their pride, they explode. You question their worth, they defend. You insult their name, and they feel forced to respond. But the Stoic mind doesn't need to be. It's validated. It doesn't defend. It doesn't perform. It just is. The teacup story, rewritten, visually seen, a quiet temple. Young man sits with a wise master. The master pours tea into a cup. It overflows, spilling onto the floor. Master, it's spilling. The student cries. The master doesn't stop pouring, then gently sets the kettle down. "This is your mind," says, "full of assumptions, desperation, expectations. You are so full you cannot receive wisdom." The student looks at the puddle forming around the cup. "I don't want to be full anymore," he whispers. The master smiles. "Then you must let go. Only then can you be free." Learning to let go without losing yourself. Letting go doesn't mean becoming empty. It means choosing what stays. Let go of what controls you. Let go of people who trigger you. Let go of reactions that cost you your peace. You do not need to fight every battle. You only need to master the war inside your own head. Act 3. Detachm, and subtitle. The Art of Loving Without Losing Yourself Seen. A man staring at an old photograph, smiling faces, a time that no longer exists. But he closes his eyes and lets it go. The wind carries the photo away. Voiceover. Letting go doesn't always mean walking away. Sometimes it means staying calm. When your heart is in flames, sometimes it means choosing peace over closure. We've been told that love means holding on, clinging, proving, priding, fighting. But what if true love is the ability to release? Not because it doesn't matter, but because you do. When you love without attachment, most people don't love. They attach. They love as long as they feel needed. They give you only to get, and when the return stops, so does the affection. But attachment isn't love. It's dependence. It's a silent cry that says, "Please complete me. Please validate me. Please don't leave or I won't survive." real love. It stands. Alone, it doesn't beg, it doesn't chase, it doesn't crumble when ignored, because it comes from overflow, not emptiness. Visual, a monk watering a plant, not for fruit, not for beauty, but because it is simply what he does. Why most people can't detach in how you will, they say. I can't let go. I love them too much. No, you fear being without them. You fear who you'll be alone. You fear the silence. But what if the silence wasn't empty? What if it was where your real self had been waiting all along? Detachment doesn't mean you stop loving. It means you start. Loving from a place of strength, not survival. It means you can care deeply, but still walk away with your peace intact. The power of walking away, sometimes the boldest move is not chasing. It's not convincing, not proving. It's standing still when everything inside you says, go back, explain, try again. But you don't. Because you've finally realized your worth isn't up for negotiation. Visual. A woman waiting for a message. A man typing, then deleting. He breathes, puts the phone down. He's done explaining himself. When love tests your detachment lead, just be honest, there will be days when you miss them so badly. It hurts to breathe. When the silence feels like punishment. When every song sounds like them. Every street reminds you of what you lost. But this is where most people fail. They run back. They settle. They shrink themselves for the comfort of old. Love not you. You are not shrinking anymore. You are growing, even if it hurts. And here's the truth. If love costs you, your self-respect, it was never love. It was emotional debt disguised as romance. What detachment really looks like it? It's not stone-HEANS. It's not being numb. It's standing in front of someone you care about deeply. And choosing yourself anyway, it's watching them leave. Without chasing, it's hearing the insults. Without responding, it's feeling everything. But acting from calm, detachment is the discipline of emotional intelligence. It's what separates boys from men. Emotionally reactive men from spiritual.